My name is Constantine, and if you'll indulge me and be so kind, tell you my thoughts on the 1972 Rainer Werner Fassbinder film, The Bitter Tears of Petra van Kant. I don't dare say its German name, but I do know that it is one of Miuccia Prada's favorite films. So, what is this film about? Well, I'm glad you asked. It is about Petra van Kant, obviously, and she becomes quite possessive and obsessive over a 23-year-old aspiring model by the name of Karen. She starts to shower and lavish Karen with declarations of love and quite a bit of money. All the while on the sidelines, the doting and really mistreated assistant Marlena of Petra's. Marlena, in Petra's own words, does all of her work for her and enjoys the abuse, which obviously I refuse to believe. She is one of the most sympathetic and enigmatic characters I've ever seen in cinema. She's brilliantly costumed in a long black dress with flared bottoms and bell sleeves. It's just a wonderful way of building the character. But also the actress herself has this red hair and this kind of moon-like white ghostly face that really wouldn't be out of place in a 1920s silent film. And speaking of silent film, she's not the only character who has this anachronistic quality. I actually think that this film exists in the same aesthetic world as A Clockwork Orange. And the reason I believe that is firstly because of the gaudy colors, but the sheer anachronism. It should come as no surprise that back in 2014, Miuccia Prada admitted that this film was a direct influence on her autumn-winter collection. You can actually see how some of the specific costumes have made a direct inspiration into her collection. But also I think that this film is probably one of her favorite films. It's well known that she rewatches Antonioni and Fassbinder films before every new collection. And so I wonder, what is it about this film in particular that inspires her? Is it because she knows how vicious and ugly the fashion industry is and how transactional it can be? And unfortunately, she hasn't had the good mind to actually tell me. So I'll have to give you my thoughts on it and hope that she agrees, because for me it's really a film about power dynamics and sex dynamics. There's something very transactional that's going on in between Petra and Karen, because Karen is just using Petra to get ahead. By the end of the film, she's a model for Pucci. She was a nobody, and yet she gets discovered. But I don't think Petra, for all her crying about the word, actually understands love. She throws the word around a lot, and she cries out that she loves Karen. But in the end, she only wants to possess Karen. And yet, when her teenage daughter tries to get some reciprocal affection from Petra, she pushes her away. She treats Marlene like crap, despite the fact that Marlene is so dedicated to her. And this makes me think that for whatever reason, maybe it's because of her abusive husband in the past, that Petra just only knows the word love but doesn't actually know what it is. But also one wonders, why does poor Marlena, who works, she does all the work for Petra, why is she so dutiful? And one can only surmise that maybe she's a codependent. She knows that her mistress is utterly dependent on her, and that gives her some kind of sense of usefulness, of purpose. Maybe Miuccia Prada saw some kind of connection in between her own working relationship with her husband, which is known to be quite volatile, and Petra and Marlena's. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the costumes and the viciousness of the fashion industry where everybody's using everyone as what appealed to her. I can't be quite sure. But as I said, this is a visually stunning film. It was shot entirely in one room, one single room, and that is really quite a sight to behold. There are some immaculate camera movements, and I love the way the camera will move across the frame, and then it will zoom into Marlena's face as dialogue is happening off screen. It's just quite an excellent film, and I really recommend you watch it. Until next time, I'm Constantine. Please stay sublime.